My name is Emily Carter. I live in a quiet town where neighbors know your name, where the same wind chimes ring each morning, and where smiles can sometimes hide the deepest scars. I've been married to Daniel for 11 years. He's calm, reliable, and people often say we're the perfect couple. We have a beautiful son, Noah, who just turned 7. He's our world. We have a cozy home with a garden Daniel takes pride in, and a kitchen that always smells like cinnamon on Sundays. People saw us and thought, they have it all. But behind closed doors, something was missing. Daniel works in corporate finance. Long hours, late nights, stress, meetings. I work part-time as a school librarian, which gives me time to be there for Noah after school. Our schedules barely aligned. Our conversations became practical, about bills, groceries, Noah's activities. The connection, the spark, slowly faded into the background. It started subtly. We hired a helper. His name was Liam. Young, polite, early 20s. He was recommended by a friend to help around the house. Cleaning, light repairs, sometimes babysitting if I needed to run errands. Liam had a gentle energy. He listened, never overstepped. Always respectful. At first, he was just the help, a presence. Then, one evening, everything shifted. Daniel was working late, Noah was asleep upstairs, and I was sitting in the kitchen alone, sipping tea. Liam walked in to grab a glass of water, and we struck up a conversation. It was innocent. Books, life, small talk. But it felt different, like someone actually saw me. For the first time in years, someone looked at me like I was more than just a mother or a wife. That became a pattern. Daniel came home later and later. Liam and I talked more longer. The talks turned into shared jokes. Shared jokes turned into shared glances. And one night, I made a mistake I never imagined I would. I kissed him. It wasn't passionate. It was soft, hesitant, confused. But a kiss. Nonetheless, we pulled away quickly. "I'm sorry," I whispered, voice shaking. Liam didn't respond. He just looked at me with something between regret and longing. I barely slept that night. The guilt crushed me. I loved Daniel, I truly did. But I also felt unseen in our marriage. Unloved, even. And Liam, he saw me. Days passed. I avoided being alone with Liam. I tried to forget it, erase it from my mind. But it haunted me. And the worst part? A part of me wanted to feel that again. 2 weeks later, I gave in. Again. It wasn't just a kiss this time. That day changed everything. I crossed a line I promised myself I never would. I became the person I used to judge. The woman who cheats. The woman with secrets. And I kept going back. It became a secret affair. Stolen moments when Noah was at school, when Daniel was away. A hidden life layered over my real one. But the guilt never went away. It grew heavier. Then, one rainy afternoon while Daniel was in the shower, his phone buzzed. I didn't mean to look. I really didn't. But the screen lit up with a message. "I miss you already. Last night was incredible." My heart stopped. I froze. I opened the message thread. The sender's name was Sophie. The text told me everything I needed to know. The late nights, the cold kisses, the distance. He had someone else too. I felt sick. I sat on the floor of the hallway, clutching my stomach, trying to breathe. I was drowning in betrayal.
Mine. His. Ours.
But strangely, my first emotion wasn't anger. It was relief. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't alone in this. And suddenly, I saw our marriage for what it truly was. A house built on silence, on routine, not on passion or connection anymore. That night, I confronted him. After Noah went to bed, I sat Daniel down and told him the truth. "There's something I need to tell you," I began. He looked up, guarded. "I've been seeing someone," I said. "It's Liam." His face drained of color. For a moment, he didn't say a word. Then he looked away and whispered, "There's something I need to tell you, too." He told me about Sophie. How they met at work. How it started after months of feeling neglected. How he didn't know how to stop. We sat in silence. We didn't yell. We didn't cry. We just stared at the wreckage we had both created. It was the most honest we'd been in years. The next morning, we let Liam go. It was hard but necessary. And then the real work began. We started marriage counseling. At first, it was brutal. The counselor, Marissa, made us unpack everything. Why we strayed, what we lost, what we still wanted. I told her I felt invisible. Daniel said he felt like a failure, that I had grown distant, that life had become just about schedules and responsibilities. We cried. We fought. We uncovered wounds that had been festering for years. We had to ask ourselves a question that shook us both. Did we still love each other? The answer wasn't simple, but it wasn't no.
We stayed in therapy.
We began rebuilding trust. Slowly. There were setbacks, triggers, days I hated him, days he couldn't look me in the eye, nights I cried myself to sleep, haunted by my own choices. But we kept showing up. We created new routines. We scheduled time for us. Weekly date nights. No phones after 8 p.m. We started talking again, touching again, laughing. Noah began to notice. He smiled more, hugged us tighter. His world felt safer again. One night, 6 months into therapy, I asked Daniel, "Do you still think about her?"
He paused.
Then said, "Sometimes. But not in the way I used to." I nodded. Me too. About Liam. And that was it. Honesty. Raw and uncomfortable, but real. That fall, Daniel planned a weekend away, just the two of us. He booked the same bed and breakfast we stayed in on our honeymoon. When we arrived, the air smelled like sea salt and lavender. On our last night, he took my hand, got on one knee, and pulled out a small box. Inside was a new ring. "I don't want to forget what happened," he said, "because forgetting means we learn nothing. But I want to start over, with this version of us. The stronger one. The real one." I couldn't speak. I just nodded as tears fell. "I will," I finally whispered. Now, almost a year later, we're still healing, still growing, still learning. We're not perfect. We never will be. But we are honest. I think about Liam sometimes. I wonder where he is, whether he found someone who truly sees him. A part of me will always care about him, but he wasn't my forever. Daniel is. Not because he's flawless, but because we chose to stay, to fight, to rebuild the ashes into something new. People say betrayal destroys everything, but sometimes it clears the path for truth. We buried our secrets, and we grew something real in their place.